It's my real pleasure to present the Real Current Award this year. I'm going to present it in just a moment to Michael O'Connell, but before I do that, I want to acknowledge Ed Wiley and his granddaughter Kayla Taylor, who are both here. Kayla's really excited about having all these things on for her, and you'll like the both of them in this film. It's a story of personal determination and courage. It's also a story about the terrible impact on families in the communities that are victimized by the way in which this coal is being removed from the tops of mountains in Appalachia, and really the whole top of the entire mountain is removed. And of course, this has been written about. There have been news stories and television news stories about this over the years, but nothing has brought people to a realization of how horrible it is. And that's the first time I've ever been in an event when a cell phone's going on. Nothing is. I'm kidding you. I'm just hoping mine doesn't go off here. This film really brings out the human dimensions of this, because you see it through the eyes of a family that's greatly affected, and you feel it in the emotions of a small town that has really been hurt a lot. And I was telling Ed that his campaign to get a new school, and to get one because of the terrible impact of this mountaintop removal on the existing school and on the community, is really part and parcel of the same kind of struggle that I and many others have been involved in to try to get solutions to the climate crisis. It's the same fight, really. And we're changing that right now. And the people that are just in a frenzy about this, digging as much coal as they possibly can as quickly as possible and burning it without any thought to what is being done as a result of it, are connected to the ones that are not giving any thought to these families in this community. And you look at the beautiful horizon in the places where this activity is taking place, and you see the beauty of the mountains against the sky, and you come back a few years later and the whole mountaintop just been sheared off. And where does it go? Well, the coal's burnt, but the dirt and the rock is just dumped down the side of the mountain and into the valleys and clogs up the streams and gets into the water supply, and it just kills the landscape. And it kills the prospect for Kayla and her generation to have the same kind of beautiful place to live and the same healthy place to live, and all for what? Because the amount of money that's being made by this just, it goes up to the top of the income ladder. Now, there are a lot of jobs associated with it, but when it's gone, those jobs are gone too. And it's mostly done by these big machines now anyway. And the people are not benefiting economically, and they're certainly being hurt in terms of their health and their whole outlook. And one thing that Tipper and I liked so much about this particular film was that it really does allow the audience to connect with the emotions of the families that are going through this. And Kayla's grandfather, Ed Wiley, took it upon himself to say, I'm going to take this message to where somebody can hear it who can do something about it. And he walked, 450 miles with a flag and a homemade flagstaff over his shoulder to Washington, D.C. And I admire that a lot, Ed. But they didn't respond. Not really. And then he went to the governor's office. Then the courts got a hold of it. And of course, the way our democracy is operating these days, with the influence of big money being way out of bounds to what it should be, that produces much more of a response than a family, a grandfather thinking about his granddaughter and her generation, which should be right up there in first place when these decisions are made. But instead, all these high-priced lawyers and lobbyists and all the money that's thrown at this, it just twists the outcome of the legal proceedings, of the legislative proceedings, the congressional proceedings. And this is going on in Appalachia, and similar activities are going on all over the world.